Welcome back to Network Africa. Assets management experts have advised the federal government of Nigeria to enact laws for the enforcement of a maintenance culture with special attention on the recycling of waste products which pollute the nation's environment. These experts say, besides maintaining existing infrastructure, Nigeria's waste are assets waiting to be tapped, especially now that the economy is in need of a boost with dwindling oil prices. Our correspondent Omelogo Nadi reports.
In 1984, a military decree by President Muhammadu Buhari, then head of state, and his deputy Tunde Idiagbo instituted the war against indiscipline and corruption. One of the major enforcements of that program, which had a key target to instill social order and civic responsibilities in Nigeria, was the control of litter and waste collection.
It is my pleasure, therefore, to declare today the launching day for the war against indiscipline.
31 years after, experts in assets and waste management say that Nigeria not only needs to control its waste, but must now turn waste into a resource that will yield great economic revenue.
We need such an enforcement to make sure that every single thing being dropped is being recycled. So education and awareness is the first thing. And I don't want to go too much into that, but that's one of the things we're doing today, to educate people on the need to turn waste into asset. And to put that in context, what that literally means is we have cars coming in from the UK, from Germany, from Holland, from the US. These are waste to the British, to the Americans, but they are treasured assets for us. So our waste, we can turn them also as treasured assets for other people.
Every waste can be an asset. You know, we manage what we have today, we'll enjoy tomorrow. The future, the sustainability we are talking about, what can keep us till tomorrow? It's managing this waste today. Thinking, planning for this waste, starting from the design stage.
Managing waste is said to be a very critical problem globally, but one which every country must invest in to truly develop. These experts say that Nigeria does not need new policies, only enlightenment, legislation and enforcement.
Don't just think about the business opportunities, don't just think about the public awareness, don't just think about getting legislation drafted up. Think also about how these laws can then be enforced. Enforcement is absolutely critical. There should be no impunity.
People think that you need to have a large investment, you want to have a really big infrastructure. That's actually not the case. A lot of the things we do in the UK, we're actually about educating people, working with the people as well, looking into the ways of reducing waste, but with a very low cost. So now a lot of the communication we do with the local residents can be done through the social media.
Rethink waste as a resource, and instead of throwing it away, recycle it and use it to save money and create more resources for the future. That is what these experts want Nigeria to achieve. This, they say, must go hand in hand with the culture of maintenance of existing assets, as good infrastructure, they say, attracts good investments, which Nigeria really needs now. Omelogo Nadi, Channels Television News.
Well, let's take you back to one of our lead stories about Ebola, Sierra Leone being declared free of Ebola. And now that that country has been given the clean bill of health after the WHO declared the country free from the Ebola epidemic, what's next for the jubilant country? First, Sierra Leone will undergo a 90-day close monitoring by the World Health Organization, which will serve as a validation period of its new status. But that's not all. Remember, the situation affected not only the health of the country, but its economy. So what necessary steps should the government of Sierra Leone be taking to restore the country back to its full healthy status? Our Rotimi Sankore, the editor-in-chief of Africa Development Reports, has done a lot of research on what this country should be doing. And now he joins me via telephone on Network Africa. Thank you so much. We're able to reach you. Thank you. Now, let me just quickly ask you, this isn't just victory for Sierra Leone, but for everyone who had to battle the disease. And you've done a lot of research on what it would take to bring Sierra Leone Yes, you're right here.
Hello?
You're on the program. We can hear you, Mr. Sankore. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Network Africa.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, I was saying that this isn't just victory for Sierra Leone, but for everyone who've had to battle the disease. You've done a lot of research on what it will take to bring Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia out of this crisis. What would you say worked?
Well, it's
If you're still with me, I asked, what would you say worked in the case of Sierra Leone? All right, I think we lost him there. Let's move on to other stories now. Stories making the rounds here in Nigeria. Owo Falls in Kwara State is adjudged to be one of the highest in Africa, standing at 120 meters high. Despite the presence of this waterfall and the huge deposits of other mineral resources in this locality, little or nothing is seen as benefits to the people. In our next report, Crystal Lems, our correspondent, shares his experience at Owa Kajala, home to the waterfall.
Kwara State, North Central Nigeria, is made up of 16 local government areas with population put at about 2.5 million people. However, about 10% of these people live in Ifelodun local council area are judged to be the biggest in the state, covering about 3,400 square kilometers. Of the over 43 villages and towns in this locality, Owa Kajala stands out because of the presence of the magnificent Owo Falls, one of the highest in West Africa, with a height of over 120 meters. From Oke Onigbi to Owo Falls, it's about 33 kilometers through the undulating hills and vast vegetation. And only 3 kilometers of this stretch is tarred.
If a government can give us a hand of fellowship by assisting us, make this road better and develop the tourism, the force. So and have tourism there. I think all over the world, students can be coming. Even the white people, everywhere, they can come because it is a natural gift that God gave the two communities.
A large deposit of limestones, gypsum, marbles and other precious stones that can be used for cement production, tiles, ceramics, skincare products are found here in large quantity, unexplored. Finally, we arrive at Owa Kajala and the people are glad we came. Owo Falls is located 5 kilometers from the town, and we immediately set out to see this place that has been dubbed Wonder in the Wilderness and has been compared to the Niagara Falls in the USA, though Owo Falls is over 60 meters higher. While Niagara Falls, as of 2010, attracted over 20 million visitors, Owo Falls, on the other hand, can barely boast of 1,000 visitors per year due to the bad states of the road and lack of supporting infrastructure. Finally, we arrived this amazing gift of nature to Kwara State, the Owo Falls, with water cascading from a great height with pressure that seems to mount intermittently.
One of the effects you see there is the echo you get. You speak and you get an echo back. And the ambience generally is beautiful. Everybody goes there and they like it. It's one of the natural wonders, I would like to say, of Kwara State. Sadly, the appropriate infrastructure is not in place. The road leading to that place is a federal road. It will cost a lot of billions to fix it. And this administration's strategy for driving tourism is to partner with the private sector.
Beyond the tourism value derivable from this fall, there are other benefits inherent, especially in hydroelectric power generation.
Promotes marketability, because the tourists will have to buy, when they come on tour, they will have to buy goods from the local people.
Done with the visit, it's time to go. But my excitement has a pinch of disappointment. but the potential money spinner, such as the Owu Falls, that could generate employment opportunities has not been given the due attention. Chris Elems, Channels Television News.
Amazing waterfall there. Now, we apologize. We're not able to bring you the interview with Rotimi Sankore on Sierra Leone's post-Ebola era due to technical difficulties. But what we are able to bring you is your feedback. Remember, we asked you last week, what is the worst online threat you have received and how did you handle it? Well, I'm just going to take one interesting one on the program today. Moste said on Twitter, some things are they're not just within your control. Some things are not just within your control. That's an interesting reply. Now, this is a question of the day for you. What are your thoughts on Burundi's door-to-door arms disarmament exercise? Is this the best way to rid the country of illegal firearms? What are your thoughts on Burundi's door-to-door arms disarmament exercise? Is this the best way to rid the country of illegal firearms? Please send your answers to networkafrica@channelstv.com or find me on Twitter right now at Adeshewa Josh.